So the other day on the farm, I went through and I was getting the cattle fed, and I found out that I was running a little bit low on bales. So I went through yesterday and I got all of this grass field all cut down, and again, this is probably going to be the last cut of hay for the year, as it is November, it's 9/22, and we still have $32,665 in the bank account. We also have a $30,000 debt that we still have to pay off, and this is all we have for bales. Feeding these cattle has become a really big chore, as like it's taken up a lot of my time. I'm cutting hay like every 2 months in order to feed these cattle, and I still am expecting calves in like the next coming months, like about 5 months I think is what it is. But now that I got that taken care of, I'm gonna go over to the abandoned farm and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what we're gonna get ourselves into. So just now rolling up, and I already know what you're probably thinking. This place looks like a dump. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be fixing this farm up, getting all these bushes cleaned out of here, getting this barn cleaned up. I might honestly think about painting it like a nice red color, but I'm not too sure yet. I don't know what I want to do. For the most part, I do have like this bush is like 9 foot tall. I need to get like a bush hog in here. I need to get all this stuff taken care of. I will be moving a lot of the equipment out from all the bushes and out of the barns just so I can get everything cleaned up. I'm going to bring a gravel truck in here and spread out some new gravel. I'm going to be getting everything all cleaned up so that way this farm is looking nice. I got myself hooked up onto the gooseneck trailer, and I was on my way to go see an old friend. Then we arrived at Jim's farm, got myself turned around, and after talking with Jim, he said it was okay that we used his skid steer, so we got it all loaded up on the trailer. Once everything was loaded up, we were on our way to the dealership to get the tools we needed to clean up the farm. So the first thing is first, before I can get into using my new toys that I am borrowing for the time being, and we do need to get this New Holland grinder mixer out of this barn here, and also get this Alice Chalmers sprayer moved out of the weeds. And I think what I'm going to use is my 1206 International that I have in the shed here. I have been using it over here to get some plowing done, as well as I got my other field all planted with wheat. Let's test my backing up skills, and we're going to get backed up to the grinder mixer here real quick. Get it all hooked up and taken out of the barn. And we're going to store it here in this shed because this is the cleanest one, except for the little bit of bushes that are in the back corner, but I will get all those cleaned up. And of course, we can't forget about this scary little contraption. First things first, before I can get that bush hog off the trailer, I need to get the skid steer off. And attached on the front of this, I do have a mulcher. This thing will come really handy for when we got to take out all these big bushes, and I think what I'm going to do is use it to kind of go through and pave myself a new area to lay my gravel down. So first things first, let's get the bush hog all fired up. Now I know they tell you not to like stick your hand underneath here and see what's going on, but let me see if I can kind of see the blade spinning. Okay, they must be going pretty good. The PTO looks like it's all fine. Nothing's flying apart just yet. Let's get it laid down here, and we are going to start driving off. And what I'm going to do is do the closest perimeters as I can to the buildings and mow around here. It does not look like it's taken out any of the bushes, or maybe it is. Okay, it is. And we are going to get what we can with this. And already around the shed, it is looking 100 times better. We're going to get ourselves going around the perimeter of the barn here and try not to hit anything that I kind of need to keep nice. We're going to try to keep this bush hog in pretty good condition as I am borrowing it or renting it for the time being. Let's go through and get these bushes all taken care of around here. Now, when I bought this farm, I didn't buy it because of the looks. I bought it because it was cheap, it was something affordable, and I knew it was something that I can get fixed up. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, that if I was going to spend all that money, get a loan in the first place, why wouldn't I get something that was nice? But go ahead and let me know what you think down in the comments. What would you have done if you were in my situation? Because honestly, I only bought this farm for $60,000. And to be honest, for the equipment that it came with and the land that I got with it as well, it's not that bad of a buy. I mean, yes, there is some bushes everywhere. It does need some cleaning up, but that's only some minor things that obviously I'm getting taken care of right now. And I think this farm is going to look like $1,000,000 once we are done with it. And now that that's all taken care of, let's get the mulcher all fired up. We're going to get backed up here. Actually, let's test it out on this little bush I wasn't able to get earlier. I think what I do is I just lower this down like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and I'm going to mulch up this entire area inside of the barn. And I'm going to probably go through and get a load of gravel from in town and then just go through and kind of just lay it out, redo the inside of this barn, redo the pathway or the roadway that goes up to the farm, and completely overhaul this farm. We're just about done in here, and honestly, The inside of this barn looks 100 times different. It actually looks like somebody's gone through and actually taken the time to take care of this farm and actually make it a decent looking farm. But all it took was that one person, and that one person is me. So kind of a quick update. We went through and I got the pathway for barn to the shed. I am going to clean up a little bit here in front of the fuel barrels. But first I do need to get my pickup out of the way because I'm going to be doing the loop that's going to be going behind the barn here. And then after that, we will get the roadways taken care of. And once that's complete, we're going to get ourselves a load of rocks from in town. And then we should be done here. Now that all the hard work is done, we're going to take all this equipment back to the dealership before I get charged anymore for rent. Then I'm going to grab my truck with the dump bed or my grain truck, get that filled up with some white rock, and get heading back to the farm. And then once that's done, we'll have a farm that looks better than any farm in the valley. Let's just go ahead up here and I'm going to take the last little bit of white rock that's behind the truck, kind of spread it out even along this trail. And I'm going to do a little bit of touching up. There is a little bit up here by this gate that I do need to get done. So let's get this taken care of real quick. Put the bucket down, kind of like blade it out, and then we're going to back up just like that. Kind of get it all spread nice and even, and I think that should be good. Let's get this Bobcat loaded up on the gooseneck trailer, and then I'm going to get the box put down on the truck, so that way we don't have that up there in the air just kind of randomly sticking up, or before I forget about it and then accidentally take out like a power line or something like that. But honestly, this farm cleanup has been a complete and total success. I went through and I got enough gravel around here to get every path kind of cleaned up. I got rid of all the bushes. The grass has been reseeded. I did leave some of the bushes like off there in the back just kind of for an aesthetic look to leave the farm kind of like it looks like it's out in the middle of like the wilderness or something like that. But for the most part, every bush that was inside the barn, as you guys remember, was completely just everywhere. They were 9-foot bushes and now the barn is cleaned up. And if you guys haven't put it together, I went through, got the barn painted a nice red color. So the barn before was brown, it was drab. It just didn't have that nice look to it to keep the farm looking good. And then we come over here, I went through and I used what was little left of the rocks that we had in the truck, and I made a path to each one of the fields that we have here. Later on, I'm thinking that I will go through, get some more rock, and I do want to create a path that goes all the way down through here, kind of for like a truck route, something like that. Maybe go through, get like a pivot road or something for the fields. But all in all, this is a 100% turnaround on the farm. I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. It looks pretty cool, and I'm really glad with like the amount of work that we put into it. It didn't take too long, but it was a nice process. And before I completely forget to get my baling done for today, we're gonna get ourselves hooked up to our New Holland baler. We're gonna get turned around, get heading towards our field. And I think what I should do, I should go probably back into town, get some more white rock, and I would like to do the same thing as I did on the other farm to this farm as well. Kind of clean it up, make it look a little bit better, more presentable, and possibly might even make the resale value on it just a little bit better. But we are going to have to go through and get some of these bales baled up for the cattle because they are going through all the bales at a pretty fast rate. I think those bales that we had in there lasted us about 2 months. So I need to go through and, of course, replenish the amount of bales that we had so that way we can get through the winter, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be our last cut of hay before the snow falls. Now I do have a little bit more left to go, but after I get most of this done, I am going to go through and I'm going to get the parts that I missed in the field, because there is the parts where the pickup on the baler just isn't wide enough to go through and grab the windrows. So after I get the field completely done, I'm going to go through, and as you can see, there's these little parts around the field that I still need to grab. I need to make the most out of this field and get the most out of all the bales I possibly can, so that way these cattle are fed throughout the winter, and then I have nothing else to worry about. And then I think I'm probably going to call it a day. I'm pretty tired. Like always, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe.